Hey guys, welcome back to the Raw Uncovered Truth of the Awakened Soul with Nicole. And I just kind of wanted to just jump on really fast and do a little crash course on the first 10 days of June. So here I am sitting on June 10th, right? Today is June 10th as I record this. Probably put it out the same day because I kind of want to get it out there before the full moon actually like really hits and the energy changes and shifts even more. So I haven't been able to record in over a week. I don't know about you guys, but June hit me like a ton of bricks, I guess. Not even like a ton of bricks. It's like I want to be seen for who I am, but I want to hide under a blanket at the same time. So if anybody could relate to that, then this is exactly, where you should be. So I'm gonna call June like the cosmic compression chamber. And I actually like wrote a whole bunch of stuff down so I wouldn't really forget to re touch on as much as I can touch on because if you're like me right now, your brain seems like vacuum sealed where all your knowledge and wisdom, spiritually, unspiritually, it's just gone. Like right now, I feel like a lost dog. I'm like, I don't even know like what's going on today, where I am, what day it is. Like I had to remind myself like several times what day it was. Um, we're kind of in this shift where, I had said this last video, where June is bringing everything, like all our hard work that, if you have been doing the work, all the hard work from the past months, past year is like coming to coming to a head, coming to fruition in June. However, it's coming in as we have to be able to collapse things fully down in order for them to come in. So there's lots of bleed throughs. So the way that you recognize timeline bleed throughs is and I've been experiencing this on a whole other level. Um, it's kind of like you see 5 to 10 different versions of you, whether it's in this lifetime, different ages, whether it's simultaneously, you in this lifetime, but you in other lifetimes, all coming in, to one. And this is like, and you're trying to make sense of it 5 minutes after you wake up, right? So you're like, oh, okay, whoa, and you're like trying to, like comprehend all of that. It's all about like really accepting who you are for you, your full self. And again, like I just said this in the right as soon as I started the video, it's like I want to be seen for who I truly am, but at the same time, it's like I'm so exhausted and so many things are going on that I just want to hide under a blanket. So you kind of have like hermit mode turned. You want to be seen for who you are, but you can't even function, right? Like there's just no functionality right now. So anyway, so the first 10 days, especially today, and I would say yesterday as well, have been like really there's been like a huge forcing of like everything coming up, everything to process. I think I have cried um probably since Friday night. So it's been Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. Last night I actually took off. Last night I thought I was going to cry too, but I did not cry at night. And I haven't been able to sleep, like fall asleep. Sleeping for me has always been whatever. So I've been having the oddest dreams once I do fall asleep. And for me to say that they're odd dreams, they have to be odd. It's like I could see myself like running missions, obviously not in this lifetime, running missions and training other people that I do know, in these simulations. And then I'm like, oh, and then I wake up and I'm like, well, that was bizarre. And, it's like we were training for this. We were training for, like a lot of missions. And here we are like stuck in this looping pattern, now. And it's not just like on a personal level, it's just like Earth cycle level. We're kind of just stuck in that. If that made any sense to anyone, yay. That's what's been going on for me. So basically it feels like you're being like squeezed out on a soul level, right? So you're like being like completely squeezed while, still having to wash the dishes, right? Still having to do the laundry, still having to, function on a daily basis. You have massive planetary shifts, right? Which are bringing in an extreme amount of light codes right now that your body is processing. Um, you have that. You have, you know, ancient memory coming in, the bleed throughs again, like I just said. It's a lot while trying to function in a 3D reality, right? And it's in a 3D reality that you never really matched you to begin with, right? So like, you're kind of out of sync there as well. So it's a lot, right? So you have the full moon tomorrow. Probably peaking, as I speak, but full blown, tomorrow, which is burning illusions, exposing truth, slamming us with the are you living in alignment or are you not? Right? Huge question, right? Because it's like you're trying to live in alignment, but you feel like this and you're like, oh my God, am I losing it? Am I not, like on the consciousness level that I'm really like, aiming to maintain and to really live in. And I'll be the first one to tell you that you are, right? You're not alone. You may feel like this because, again, we're literally like in a compression chamber. It's like we're going through like what I would say spiritual warfare right now. It's like literally everything coming up to clear out in order to process and move out, right? It's all about accepting. It's all about loving ourselves. It's all about, leading from the heart, really leading from your heart space and being able to like let go of everything else. And you are being put in these situations right now. I know I am, where it's, the universe is testing you. It's like, oh, do you really want to level up or do you want to just, fall back in, all that hard work that you did and just take the easy road out and just stay in the mundane and, you know, have a mundane life, right? Have a boring existence, do the same thing every day, and like be in a relationship that really isn't, reciprocal, and like all of that is clearing, and all of that is also clearing, not only from you, but on a complete collective level, on a complete world level right now. There's so many things coming, to surface, to be collapsed out, and to be able to absorb and rebuild, right? Same thing's happening with you, right? So on you, I'm holding the pen and I just realized that. So everything is collapsing, timelines are collapsing, bleed throughs. There's tons of things going on right now with you yourself, that are just going to close those doors. Like you're closing those doors, and the doors that are fully aligned with you are opening, and you're going to like really like walk through them. Um, what else? So you have, oh, right. And just to really stress on the timelines, the timeline collapses. I actually wrote that like 5 times. The timeline collapses and bleed throughs have been nonstop. So, and again, that's just letting everything collapse, letting everything come to, like to the surface, letting everything kind of mesh together so you really understand, like who you are, what your mission is, where you came from. There's a lot coming into play right now. You also have linear versus non-linear time. Linear, very matrix bound, very 3D, right? You have like the time on the clock, you have the dates, you have the month, you have the year, you have, like all of that stuff where non-linear is, all your lifetimes coming together because technically they're all playing out same time. You have like just time is irrelevant. Like, I mean, I will look at the clock and it'll say the same time, like which feels like for 4 hours, and then it'll go from one extreme, to the other, right? So it'll either not move or it'll move so fast that I'm like, holy shit, like what the hell happened? So again, that is breaking, right? Time is the illusion of time is definitely coming to a head, right? It's definitely coming to fruition for sure. There's that. There's density detoxing, which I also touched on just a little bit ago. But like right now, whoever's following me and whoever's going to get this message, you are vibrating on a level that like totally bursts out of the matrix system, right? You are vibrating so high that the mundane has to kind of catch up with you. Like, whereas you're breaking out of the mundane. So I don't know if I kind of worded that correctly. So, you're breaking out of the mundane, like you're literally like the threshold is so right there. And you're just like, oh my God, I need to get out. Like, it's so heavy, it's so dense because you're so bright and you're vibrating so high that you've totally outgrown and outdated this entire system. So you have that coming into play, whereas, and you're also waiting for, it's not waiting, but you're also holding the space for, characters that are in your frames, right? Your lifetimes, your time frames that are not that are glitching, right? That are not fully awakened yet, that are like part of your mission, but they're not fully online yet. And that in itself can be extremely, extremely tiring, right? I mean, I can't even tell you how exhausted I am. I'm exhausted. The weather here is like kind of crappy. I mean, we had a nice day Sunday and then like it's been raining prior to all that and it's been raining after that. So the weather's not helping. But it's just the overall energy level. Like, you're supposed to be focusing on, joy and bringing joy in right now. And that was a huge factor coming into June. And I pretty sure I mentioned that, if not the last video, the last two videos, bringing in the joy, bringing in the happiness, bringing in, like the vibe. It's all about you and staying high and, high functional, high vibrational. But at the same time, it's like, wow, this is like really hitting me hard. And that's okay because, you're not supposed to maintain that, especially if like, you're maintaining it by yourself, right? If you're solo on a solo mission right now, especially if you have kids, it's even harder to maintain the balance, right? But you're doing it because you're still here, you're still showing up, you're still like, I'm not going back down. I'm still going to push forward. It's a lot. It's a lot for anyone. It's a lot, even if you don't have children and you're doing it solo, right? At this point where everything is collapsing and everything is attempting to reach 0 point to rebuild, it's a lot to do by yourself, right? It's a lot. Spiritual awakening, like I laugh, I do laugh at people that like, some people will, like my stories and whatever that I post. I'm forever posting memes about, spiritual awakenings, funny, not so funny, whatever. But like people that are liking them that have no idea what it's like to go through what we've gone through. So I'm like, why are you even liking this? You have no relevance to be liking that. You have no idea what it's like. Um, And it's a lot, right? It's a lot. And it's a lot to deal with people that are pushing their narratives that are not awakened, that don't look like they're awakening anytime soon, and that are stuck in looping patterns trying to tell you, like what to believe and what to see. And, like there's so much dimensionality. Yeah, there's so much multidimensionality out there right now. Um, that it's scary. I don't think we've ever had this much dimensionality. It's like a word that I just want to keep saying. In on Earth, as we do right now. Uh, so you have that. You have looking at yourself. Tell me if this is interesting. There are days where I will look at myself and I will look really old, and then there are days where I will look super young. Like your skin's changing, your avatar is kind of changing. It's been a very weird 10 days. Um, very weird 10 days. I can't stress that enough. And you know, again, y- you're processing timelines, you're lots of bleed throughs, the collapses, the just really, really going within and seeing like what really truly doesn't resonate anymore. And like you're losing less and less interest, right? Is it you're losing less and less interest to even have a conversation with somebody who is not aligned, like who is not like who cannot bring anything to you, like it's just like, oh, okay. And like, you don't want to, you don't want to do anything. So again, it's like you're hiding, but at the same time, you want your full true self, people to know who you really are, right? People to recognize you for who you are. You're really truly waiting for that soul family to come in, like those key players in your timelines, to wake up because you're like, okay, like I'm awake, I've done the work, I'm watching you, but could you just like hurry it up so we could like run missions like we're supposed to be? Um, so you have that going on. Again, I'm gonna like keep this really short. I just wanted to like touch base on the energy prior to the full moon, and hopefully I'll be back after the full moon with, you know, a more interesting energy. But the full moon is going to shift, and I've said this like in a couple of episodes, like June 11th has been popping out to me for a very long time. So tomorrow is definitely going to be one for the books, I want to say. Not that this entire year hasn't been, and it's only 6 months in. But again, 10 years and smacked into 1 year. And, there's going to be lots of doors opening, lots of doors closing, but they're going to be so simultaneously that it's like, okay, that's shifting, that's shifting, that's not. But there's a lot of people in the middle right now, me included, where I just love the void, love the middle. Seems to be like I haven't really been in the actual void, I want to say, since December. So this is a very big, like I mean, like look, everybody experienced the, well, not everybody, but everybody listening to this experienced the March purge, I'm sure. Which was not a void, that was just like intense purging. Like that was insanity, right? April was more like recalibrating. May was integration. So recalibrating slash integration, lots of integration. And June is just like collapsing out everything that just doesn't align with everything that came in. And it's going to keep going. So again, lots of doors opening, closing, opening, closing, opening, closing. Being in the void is you being in the middle. It's you've done the work, you're watching everything collapse that doesn't really go with you anyway, that have really kind of over and pushed out already. And you're waiting for those doors to open. And I hate to use the word waiting because then it sounds like you're just doing nothing, right? But it's not that. You're like literally just letting everything process. Process out those old relationship patterns, that you're over, that you've been healed from, all those lessons that you learned. Those are coming into play. Those are coming up. Cry, do whatever. It's more about, you realizing like how much you've grown. So that's kind of cool if you think about it. So when you start to like get all emotional about that, and this is like masculine and feminine, right? Just realize, wow, like not only did I allow myself to go through that, but like look at where I am right now. Like I would have not ever put myself in that situation again. So like, always be thankful and grateful to yourself that you decided to like evolve and not stay, that version of you. And I want to see if there's anything else that I wrote down. I talked about the crying, the linear versus nonlinear time, the forcing everything to the surface. I just want to make sure that I covered everything. The timelines, the major shifting, the collapsing, breathing. Okay, so I wrote down breathing. Breathing, not like, oh, okay, I'm going to sit back and relax and like work on my breathing and meditate and do whatever. I'm not talking about that. But as always, you could take a shower, nice long showers, sea salt and just salt in your water to ground you, going outside barefoot, like all of these, like there's tons of things that you could do to ground yourself, but I'm not really talking about breathing like that. I'm talking about breathing as in take a second and to really like breathe in, right? How far you've come. The little things that give you joy, the things that you're looking forward to, right? The big plans that you have. A lot of us are meant to do really huge things. And those, are forever coming in, right? They're forever replaying and playing and playing and playing, trying to get us to align to that frequency. And again, being in the void, it really does suck. It's like you don't like really mesh with anybody for that long. And I'm pretty sure that although like the last two videos, my camera was great. I'm gonna say that this one's gonna be like a little glitchy. Um, but it kind of goes with the whole territory of that's what we're going through anyway, right? It's like a huge glitch right now. So just, try not to get too wrapped up in yourself. Lift light weights. I always say that, get the upper body moving, get the lower body moving. That was a whole other thing is that, you may be really off balance right now and you kind of need to try to ground yourself. So if you feel yourself like way too up, try to ground. If you feel that you're too grounded and you can't connect up, loosen that. Loosen that up. Like go walking, go jogging, go running, like you get out of your head because when you're too focused in the 3D, when you're stuck in the matrix, um, you need to clear out some, like that's when your mind starts racing and you're like, am I doing the right thing? Like, what am I doing? Why can't I like, hear anything? Hearing. So back to bleed throughs and lifetimes and everything collapsing and everything like bleeding into each other, whatever. That's what I wanted to talk about. If you're hearing conversations from other people right now, if you're tuning in, tapping in, telepathically, that's on the rise. It's been on the rise. If you had it before, it's even more intense now. If you didn't have it before, it's coming in. So if you're tapping into conversations from other people, if you're hearing other people, if you're feeling other people, like their energy, like trying to connect to you, but not reaching out. I'm constantly looking at my phone every 5 seconds because I feel people coming in, but nobody's coming in. That's also annoying. And that's also tiring because it's like, oh, come on already. But anyway, if you're hearing those conversations, if you're tapping in and you hear them, if you're hearing the voices, if you're hearing people like trying to reach out to you but not reaching out to you, you're not crazy. It's all happening. It's all real. So again, you're not alone. There's a whole bunch of us in the collective, going through this right now. There's a whole bunch of shifting happening, all over the world right now, in case you haven't noticed. Try to stay off that. Try to not acknowledge anything that's happening in the outer world because you have enough shit going on in your inner world right now. So I think that's it. I think I'm gonna try to keep this short and sweet. And everybody have a really nice full moon tomorrow. And I'm hoping to touch base after the full moon and see if anything has shifted. And I mean, I know it's going to. It's just a matter of like what is going to. And definitely with this full moon, I would say, again, it's versus it's the astrology, the ascended versus the matrix astrology also. So you have that coming into play as well in your charts, guys. And I'm not an astrology guru, and I say that all the time, but there is a lot of stuff, switching up, right? Even in the astrological plane. So, keep that in mind too. So you're going with ascended versus matrix and, where the moon placement really is, what's really happening, how it's affecting you. Is it affecting you on a matrix level? Is it affecting you on an ascending level? Is it a little bit of both? And, like you kind of need to know like where you stand and what to expect. And, just always stay true to yourself, right? Always love on yourself. If you need a little love on, little more love. Wow. It's true. If you need a little bit more love on yourself, love on yourself. If you need to take a nap, take the nap. If you need to stay out of the gym, stay out of the gym. If you need to stay out of the grocery stores, stay out of the grocery stores. Take it easy on yourself. Honor who you are and don't let anybody else, you know, not tell you who you are. And again, like voicing your opinion and standing up for yourself while sitting in your boundaries is great, right? It's when you're taken out of those boundaries and you're like latching out for no reason. I don't know if that's the word, but like when you're not, there's just no need to, well, you know what? Let's just leave it at that. I'm not going to say anything else. Just be true to you. Stay true to you. And happy full moon, guys. Happy June. It's been fun. If anything, obviously, like everybody likes to message me on the side, but always leave it in the comments to tell me what's going on. Maybe like other people can relate to. Try to make this a community where everyone just kind of feels loved and not alone. Also, one last drop. I do have a website. It's in the bio. I will link it in the pinned comments as well. It is full of tools. It is completely free. I'm going like priestess style, whereas like it's all access to you guys. There's no catch, there's no nothing. It's just there's tons of things. There's meditations, affirmations, invocations, activations. There's so many practices, rituals, so much stuff in the sacred library that you guys should check out as well. It's like I said, it's all access and it's just there, to help get you through these things. And I try to add as much as I can. Like, I'm always switching it up. And that's another thing. Let's go into that. Like versions of you, just the versions of you are constantly shifting, right? Especially these past couple of months where they're landing to, like you're getting to your highest self, you're getting to your highest calling. And if you are like offering services and like you keep changing them like I do. Like I went from offering like I was going to do this whole huge masculine like workshop thing and that's like they're like nope, not doing that anymore. Nope, not doing that anymore. Switch that. I was doing this whole feminine thing. Nope, not doing that anymore. I was doing like this whole and I was doing past life regression. Nope, not doing that anymore. It's more of like a collaboration thing one-on-one that I do, but I haven't really like released any dates to do them. So like, I mean, if you want one, it even says it on there to email me and we'll figure out a time. But like other than that, I was just like that has nothing to do with anything. It was just the more of the fact that if you keep switching your services, that's okay. Be okay with that because it's what you're meant to do, right? It's you being the initiator, the helper, the supervisor while the other person shifts and that's what you're here to do. So, shift your practice as much as, you need to connect with the frequency that you're meant to. So there you go. So, all right, guys, you are aligned. It's not that you're not. Stop questioning yourself, and I'll catch you next week. Peace out. Bye.